You're listening to the Current Plays Podcast, Season 3, Bonus Episode Number 3, BreakOut Con 2026. Now please welcome your hosts, Jordan and Thomas. And welcome back, conventional listeners.
Nice.
Welcome to our BreakOut Con bonus episode. We've been saying for a while that we're going to do this, and here we are.
Here it
And
is.
now that I've forgotten everything about the games that we played, let's talk about them.
Let's do it.
So yeah, BreakOut Con this year. Well, first of all, it was awesome. Loved it. We had an extra day this year.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So, and we showed up with no plans. And what was so one thing that I don't know how you feel, but one thing I really enjoyed about our time at BreakOut Con this year was that we met and played games with a whole bunch of different people.
Yeah. This was kind of a year of almost new experiences, right? We're typically, we go and we play a lot of two-player stuff. Every once in a while, someone would jump in or something, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was most of the games we played just you and I, right? And I've never felt really anybody wanting to, really. I actually remember last year specifically somebody complaining that there was not enough people that wanted to like jump into games. Like it was
really?
it was an actual complaint. We were in line one day and they were complaining about like having their sign up and nobody wants to play games anymore with whatever, right? And I was like, yeah, I mean, and at the time I was thinking, we kind of do our own things too, right? Yeah.
I do notice that like people will have the looking for group sign up for quite a while, and they're walking around holding it up.
And this year we did like a 180 on that, really, like,
Yeah.
and almost immediately, like we got there and we were like, let's just walk around, see what we can see, and we did that, and then we bumped into a guy named I think it was Mark.
Yep.
And he was like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And I got a volunteer today, and super friendly. Got right into it. He was like, "You guys want to play a game?" And we were like,
Sure.
let's do it." Yeah, super friendly guy too. Yeah.
I think I can't remember why, but I think you got in there like a little earlier than me. Maybe I went to the washroom or something.
Yeah.
And then I walk into the hall and you're like, "Oh, we're playing this." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So the game we got pulled into was Moonrakers. And
Mhm.
specifically they had the Titan edition.
Yeah, it was actually Mark's copy of it that
Okay.
he bought in a previous convention after playing it once and then was like, I need to have everything with this game. So he picked it
Nice.
up and he bought the premium edition and whatever, right? So and so we played his copy in the premium edition of it.
So this is a 2020 game designed by Max Anderson, Zach Dixon, Austin Harrison. The different versions have different artists, including Lunar Saloon, which has got to be a group. And the Titan edition features art by Glenn Thomas. And
Nice.
this is published by IV Studios. This one gave me very Dominion-y vibes.
Oh, interesting. I've never played Dominion, so that's
Oh,
interesting to
really?
me. Yeah.
Dominion is the first hobby board game I ever owned.
It's funny because it's like the daddy of all, deck building games
Right.
kind of thing, right? It was one of the first. If you look at like pure deck building game, I think Dominion is the one that's like similar to like Lords of Waterdeep being like a pure
Right.
worker placement.
Yeah.
You know, Dominion was one of the first onto the set and was like huge, really. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think
that's interesting. Yeah. I've never played it. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
I think it was this breakout con that I sold it at the auction.
Nice. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's got because you've got I'm trying to think of how we played Moonrakers now, but it's like, you know, you've got like one action, right? You get a handful of cards and you get one action. So but some of the cards say, you know, we'll give you plus one action, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
plus one card draw. That's straight up out of Dominion.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then so you're trying to, in this one, you've got like a little ship and you're trying to, there's four sectors or something, or maybe it was five in this version. I think this
Yes.
version
Yeah.
had like an extra sector or something, but you go there and depending on the sector you go, each sector has a deck of cards that you flip over and there's like a mission. And then you go around the table and you say, okay, the mission will say you need X number of whatever, and you've got a mitt full of cards, and you're going to meet some of those conditions, but probably not all of the conditions. And then so you say, okay, who's going to come with me on this mission? And everybody sort of negotiates and bids on doing the mission with you or not. And then you sort of like negotiate who's going to get the rewards, how you divvy up the rewards for the mission. Uh, and then and then you see if you can complete it. And completing the mission is basically, okay, everybody plays down the cards they have, and again, you got to meet the conditions of having X number of whatever. And then if you do succeed, then you know you divvy out the rewards as you negotiated, or uh, was it binding? I can't remember if the negotiations were binding.
It was binding, so negotiations were binding. However, once you got into the mission, you could sabotage it and like
Right,
promise, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then absolutely not do any of that. And then the mission fails, nobody gets anything, and maybe bad stuff happens or whatever, depending
right.
on, what portion of the kind of mission that you were sort of in charge of. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and for the most part, I don't think you really want there was a couple objective cards. You had these secret objectives that would score like a couple points or something like that, a couple victory points. You had this track, the first one to like 10 victory points won, right? And those
Right,
objectives I think would score you like one victory point. So you had two secret ones, and then as soon as you completed it, you could cash it in and bump up, right? And one of the objective, or maybe a couple in the objective deck, were to sabotage a mission, get invited, and then
right.
sabotage it, right?
Which of course you
And which, of
got.
course, I got it. Yeah, like right away,
Yeah.
right? Um,
I was just surprised you didn't backstab anybody sooner. It was like
yeah.
you waited till near the end to.
I almost did. It was very close because I had it right at the start, and I was like, "Well, why don't I just not do this mission kind of thing?" And everyone was like, "No, we'll never do missions with you." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm just trying to learn the game. That's all. That's all." I was like, "Oh,
Right, right.
tilt my hand a bit
Uh,
too much there." So then I held it for a while until like the last play of the
yeah.
game, and then I played it.
They
Uh,
were pretty vehement. Yeah, because it was like the first mission.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So and then
And
even then we didn't actually finish. I think we got to 8 points. And
yeah.
then people had to go, and Mark actually had to drop out pretty early. Um, when we were
Yeah.
like not even halfway through the game because he had to actually go to, volunteer work. So which was at the con. So he was like watching us over there playing yeah, his copy of the game that he
Right,
set
right.
up for us. Yeah. Yeah. But I think
Uh,
part of that was like we went through the rules teach. And here, this is what I'm going to say. So it was great to play with a bunch of different people. Um, but I do find, and we mentioned this in some of our other reviews because we've since played some of those games, I find that the teaches probably lacked a little, maybe not finesse, but like, but I think we had some rules wrong in this one as well. Um,
oh, okay.
yeah, to the point where we just had some weird situations come up, and we just kind of like, for timing, let's just do this because Mark's leaving, and then Joy and her son were leaving, so let's just say it does this kind of thing, right?
Right.
And there, yeah, and I think we played with an expansion as well. So it was like we thought someone knew how to play. I think we thought Joy had knew how to play that expansion. She was like, "Oh, actually, that's the only one I haven't played with." And we're like, "Well, we shuffled it all in already, so I guess we're just gonna figure it out as we go along, right?"
Right, right.
So there was a bit of that, and I think that's my biggest takeaway of the like group games. If you don't absolutely know the rules, is that you could get into situations where it's like, this is a weird interaction. I don't know how this actually works, right?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it was still a lot of fun. I think everybody at the table, we all had a good time, and it was unfortunate we had to end it earlier because, yeah, like I said, Mark had left, and then Joy and her son Kai, who joined us for that, who Mark also, pulled in, was like, "Oh, I know these two; they'll come play this," right? They were having a good time, but then they had to leave while we were around. Like, so we're like, okay, we'll finish one more
Yeah.
round, and
I think that a scheduled game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they
Yeah.
had to zip off to that, right? Um, yeah, it was. What'd you think of this one? Well,
I I liked it. I would play it again.
yeah,
Um on Jeremy's scale, it was a 0 for me.
sure. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I would play it any time, but I wouldn't ever seek it out to play.
yeah. Remind me the scale again. Did it go from -2 to +2? Was that it?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, +2 was like
Best game
you,
ever. Love it. Played any time. Yeah,
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 you'd love it. You'd push this game, play it anytime.
yeah,
You actively seek to play this game.
yeah,
+1 was like uh you would suggest this game or something. Most situations you would play it. I
yeah.
think 0 was like,
Very
yeah,
neutral.
you'd play it if it's there, if
Yeah. Someone really
and
wanted to play it. Yeah.
somebody, yeah, yeah, yeah. -1 was,
You're not
I
playing. You're
don't, I
probably
feel like
gonna
I'm not
back out.
explaining it very well,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, you, you're
Minus
you're hitting it. Yeah.
-1 was like, well, if there are no better options, I guess I'd
Yeah.
play it.
If
And
you're
then
not gonna
minus
play the
two
game
was
and you need one more player, I guess I'll sit out.
right,
Yeah.
right. And then
Number
minus
two
two
is
was like,
no.
no, never play
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So I think this one was like a 0 for me.
Yeah, I'm the same boat. I was kind of like it had some fun stuff. It had some neat stuff. I like negotiation. That was a little fun. But you need the right group to play
Yeah.
negotiation games. So that's one thing.
And
This was a good
you'd need
group.
a group.
You need a group, and you need a group. Yeah, you can't play these at two.
No.
Um, and but then like you're also kind of relying on things working out that way. But yeah, like I thought it was okay, but I wouldn't go seeking out this game. I kind
Yeah.
of was like, yeah, it had some fun stuff. It had some. I liked how you were kind of almost making like a tree of actions you were doing. So like, okay, I play this card, which it lets me play two other cards, and then this card lets me play two other cards. So I'm tree branching here, and you're kind of making these tree branches of your actions. That was fun. A little bit of randomness with rolling some dice for taking damage. Um, it was fine because I think they were pretty balanced dice. They had some misses on it. They had some times two hits on it. Of course, that's what we rolled. Anytimes we had to roll that. Yeah, why not? Yeah, yeah, I can't get a miss, but yeah, I'll take two damage. No, but it was I had fun. I had fun playing it, but I don't think I would. It's not one I would add to my collection. But if someone was like, "Oh, I really
Yeah.
want to play this," I'd be like, "Okay, I can play that again."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Yeah. It being IV Studios, I think it was an expensive one too.
I don't
But
doubt that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
they're kind of a newer publisher too, or design team that's on the I guess sort of under the radar for me at least
Mm.
until
Yeah.
recently with 10 actually is the one that I know from them. And I've seen a few of their like social media stuff as well. They have like I keep saying like, but they have these like someone was doing like some social media blasts and inviting players over for play testing and stuff. And I thought that was
Okay.
kind of cool.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, so we got to try this one out, which was neat. But again, I would take it or leave it. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The next one we played though, uh, very good.
Mm,
And that one was Civolution.
yes. Yeah. I'm just pulling my phone timed out, so I'm trying to find where we are here. Yeah, Civolution was
So
the next. Yeah, this was a
Civolution,
yeah, yeah.
designed by, yeah, I'll just go through the credits here. Designed by Stefan Feld, with art by Dennis Lohausen, and published by, well, here it says Deep Print Games. Um, but I'm trying to expand the full credits because this was a Pegasus
I was gonna
spiel.
say I do. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, several different publishers, but this is a 4.25 out of 5 complexity on Board Game Geek. And I should say
Wow.
it's a 1 to 4 player game.
Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
played this, I think, two times. Right, this was
we
our
did.
first time. Yeah, we got so this was a library copy, which
Yep.
we grabbed. We set up,
Learn the
and
rules reading the book.
yes, yeah, yeah. So we got most of the things right. I think we got a few rules wrong, but we played it correctly the second time. Um, but yeah, this was one of those ones we played, and very much it definitely felt like a Steffenfeld game, which is great because I love Steffenfeld. So that
Hmm.
that's a bonus. And it held up. Like there was a lot of hype for this one, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself, right? You're basically you have this. Well, I think I didn't know much about the thematics of this one. And I think was it you that were telling me that it was like you're playing a simulator of a Civ building, kind of like a Civ building simulator board
Yeah,
game about that. Yeah, yeah, which is kind
yeah.
of a
It's
funny like two
it's like
steps
an
back.
AI.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Which I think is a really funny theme to it. Um, but it was really fun trying to like work with this player mat that had all these. It was really neat that like you start off pretty much exactly the same. Like as far as your player mat is concerned, it's they're identical, but then you might have an upgrade somewhere else and your opponent has a different upgrade, right? And each of these upgrades are like different techs that you can get, and they all start at like level one, and then you can flip this kind of chit over, and then that's the like level two, and then you can
Mhm.
take the chit out, and then that's level three underneath on the player board, right? And then level three is the highest you can get the stat.
Yeah, these are all the actions you can take, and then as the actions level up, they become more powerful or more efficient or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, this one was, it definitely made it to my list of games that I want to pick up at some point. At least have it in one of our collections, because it was great. Yeah, I had a ton of fun playing it, and I felt like I was, you know, running a civilization and learning new technologies and upgrading these technologies and whatnot, right? And then competing based on those technologies to score the most, amount of points by the end of it, right? And even
Hmm.
that portion was very neat because you scored, for, I think there was a number of things you scored on, but also like your tech board, if you filled up rows of basically bonus tiles or tech pieces, I guess. Once you filled those rows up, they acted as like each row was a multiplier times the amount of upgrades you had kind of in that section, right? So that was a very neat way of doing things as well, right? But then it also locked in the columns in those rows to a specific type of scientific upgrade, right? So like you might have technology, or you might have the brown tech cards, I can't remember what they were called, uh, in one sort of column of a row. And then anytime you completed a brown card, it had to be tucked in that one. So you would keep going up in the column and filling that spot in each row as you went up, right? So you could go tall, but then you could also go kind of this long with different types of colored cards, and those would score you points in that section,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah, if you had to fill a row in order to score that row.
right, right, right,
And
right, right.
then
Yeah.
as you went up in the columns, though the rows were worth more points. But then it got harder to fill the row.
It did. Yes. Yeah.
And like you said, yeah, like once you committed one particular thing to a column, that's all you could put in that column. So, yeah, it was, and that was your biggest point scoring, uh, well, the biggest way you score points. Yeah, not the only way, but
Yeah. Yeah. And
and
when
then
you
you had
completed
dudes
a
on the
row,
map
yeah. Yeah.
and with different environments, and you can move them around, and you had to get food and money and resources and spend those resources to build things and like other typical like civilization type things. But yeah, it was really managing your console and trying to fill those rows and columns to score that way, right?
And then you would like you're trying to do these things almost like combo build to a degree where it was like, okay, if I do this, this will give me this upgrade here, which now I can use that upgrade to do this over here. And then you can create, I didn't think there were ever long chains of combinations, but definitely you could combo a few actions together and have a really useful turn or a very
Yeah.
upsetting I do this and I take this and that's it, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely times where you had to take an action like that, but then it had this cool thing where you reset your action. So you have this game is done by taking dice pairs. So
Mhm.
you roll your dice at the start of a round, and that they will correspond to the different areas of where you can take actions, right? And then you're taking a combination of two dice, and it will point to a certain area that you can take the action in, right? So I want to take this action, so I need a 6 here, and I need a 1 or whatever, right? And that's the 7, and that's this action here. So I'm taking that, right? And then anytime you got down to it where you're like, I just can't do anything with these numbers, you could either discard numbers to get, dice manipulation, or you could just take a reset turn where you reset all your dice, you rolled them, you kept any if you wanted to, and then you could re-roll dice and then reset up your turn. But that pushed the sort of the game timer forward anytime somebody took a reset action, right? So it
Yep.
would it would move the round marker forward and get closer to the end of that round, right? And usually there was like, anywhere from 5 to 6 or 7 moves that, resets that needed to happen before the round ended. And then once the round ended, there was some sort of climate issue you had to deal with.
Right.
Issue or boon, but it always ended up being issues for us. Like our
Yes.
planets were always like way too hot. So
Right.
it was just either extra food we needed to pay or we were just killing workers at some point that it was just like,
It
yeah, the planet's too hot.
it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's a card that either increases the temperature or decreases the temperature, and I feel like it was supposed to go up and down throughout the game, but for us it always just went up and it just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
maxed out and then
Desert planet.
just
Yeah.
desert. Yeah, everyone's dying.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're like, okay, well, I need more workers because you're getting points for like workers on the board as well. So if
Right.
one's dying there and then there's a bit of territory control, you're getting points for that. And yeah, there's a lot of little points you can score, similar to a lot of Stefan games can be this kind of point salady stuff. Which again I enjoy because it feels good to be like, okay, I do this, but I get a few points for it, so that's nice, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, just loved all the interactions, And this one, this that 4.25 you were mentioning, it was definitely a brain burning game. Um,
Yeah, it is, but at the same time, one of the benefits of his action selection mechanism is you roll these dice and there's only so many actions you can take with those dice, right? So
yeah,
you might be like, yeah, okay, I really want to do this, but there's so many actions. There's so many actions you can take, but once you roll those dice, your options are limited. So it's not quite so bad the decision space, you know.
yeah.
You go from oh my god, there's 50 actions to okay, well, I've got like 5 actions to choose from here, you know.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah. That definitely helps with that. I don't think I could play this two times back to back. Just because it was a heavy load trying to
Yeah.
think turn to turn. And the other thing is the second time we played this was, I think 11 o'clock we started.
Hmm.
Because
Yep.
I was like, yeah, we totally could get this done in an hour because we played it once already. So it'd be fine. We didn't. Yeah.
No,
And it went late.
this is
And it
us
was a
we're
late night.
talking about.
Yeah. So that was a tough one too, going, oh man,
Yeah.
oh, this is a lot for this time of night, right? But
It
yeah,
was it
yeah.
was no SETI, but
Yes, it didn't feel like that. At least we were enjoying it. But yeah, no, this one,
we'll
I
talk
liked
about
it.
it. We'll talk
Yeah.
about another brain burny game we started playing at
Yes.
11 o'clock at night later, but
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I can honestly say though, this one, probably one of the like top games that we played at the con.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I put it definitely above Moonrakers.
Yeah.
If we pulled it out right now, I'd play this game, right? Moonrakers, I'd be like, you sure that's the one you want to play? Right. So, yeah, yeah.
So is it a 1 or a 2 for you then?
Uh, that is, I'd give it a two. I'd throw it on my right shelf. Yeah, yeah. That one I could, I enjoyed, and it would definitely make my, you know, shelf of glory. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Maybe
like
that's
that.
a yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. All right. Do we want to jump to the next one?
Sure.
All
So the
right.
next game we played
Yeah, yeah.
was Euphoria. Build a Better Dystopia. This is a 2013 game designed by Jamie Stegmaier and Alan Stone, with art by Jackie Davis and published by Stonemaier Games. This is a 2 to 6 player game with a weight of 3.11 out of 5,
Really?
which, yeah, which is ridiculous. It's not that heavy of a game.
No. I honestly thought we were playing wrong because
Yeah,
of how not difficult it was,
right.
right? I was This is okay. This is kind of sad, right? Because we love Stonemaier games. Like,
Yes.
even though I have a love-hate with Stonemaier games because they burn me in ways that I dislike sometimes. Uh, but I think they're well put together. Now, so going in with this one, I was expecting the bar really high. And I think it's a bit unfair for how high I was expecting the bar to be on this one because it is one of their earlier games, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Versus to where they are now. Um, and I think that kind of takes away from this game is that it if this came out now, it does nothing out of the ordinary that would put this above any other game that you might be like, oh, this is the new hotness kind of thing, right? And I think that's, just to jump right in right away attacking it. I think that was my biggest thing with this one is that I
Mhm.
I, I felt the datedness of it. Though I
Yeah.
hear to a degree, I think it's getting a maybe not a reprint, but like a final edition kind of thing of it, where they roll in the expansion into this one now. I don't
Yeah,
know if I
yeah.
heard properly on that, but I think that's what I was hearing that was either
An
in the
essential
mix
edition,
or
I think, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is one I almost bought this one just because it's Stonemeyer.
yeah, yeah,
And much like you, I'm glad I didn't because I didn't enjoy it very much, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. We were playing, and the whole time we were just kind of like, man, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like so you've got this interesting mechanic where you want to like keep your workers dumb, right? And then if they get too smart, they realize they're in a dystopia and they take off.
yeah,
So I always heard that and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like such a cool concept." And but then the way it's implemented is just you have dice and the dice are worth, 1 to 6 and every turn you're going to roll the dice you have and you can have, I think you start with 2 dice and then you can get up to 4, I think. And but you're going to roll your dice. And then if you have above, I think 15 total or something like that, then you have to lose your highest value die.
yeah, yeah.
And okay, that's interesting. And probably back when this was designed, that was probably like
Oh, no
super
doubt.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But practically speaking, I found it wasn't that difficult to manage.
I got burnt once by it,
Yeah.
and then never again. Because I went to like 4 dice, and then it was like, oh, it's really hard to roll 4 dice and
Yeah.
not score above 15. So I just won't get that fourth die ever again, and never had an
Right?
issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Kept everyone really dumb. And then and the dumb thing is that if they're smart, you add to the die roll a specific number, right? So like depending on how smart they are from 1 to 6, you might be adding 1 to 6 to your die roll or whatever, right? So yeah, if you're rolling 3 dice and you're adding 6 to it, you're probably gonna, lose one of those worker dice, right?
Right. Right.
Versus if you have 3 dice and you're only adding one to it, statistically, you're probably not going to roll over, right? If you roll really high on all 3 dice, maybe. No, not even six. No, yeah, I guess you would if it was 15. Yeah, but yeah, it happened once. I think maybe once for both of us, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just we were going turn after turn, and like we kind of like saw the outcome happening sort of thing, and like I got a little bit of a lead at some point, and then it was just like as long as I maintain this lead, I just win the game.
Hmm.
And that's how the game kind of progressed. I just went, yeah, okay, don't do anything stupid and I won't lose the lead, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
Well, it was there's like all these different action spots on the board. Um, but you're like, well, one of them was better for you for some reason. I don't really remember what
the
was going on.
one of my card workers was with that whatever or something, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. 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 And so you're like, well, I'm just gonna keep going to this spot,
Yeah.
and it just worked out. Like it was there was nothing in the game to push you to go to other locations to get different resources. You were
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna go get this resource until I go to this other spot and get a point. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was the
So you
whole
just
game.
watched me getting points, working up to get that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the same thing after I got like that for like you were started to do the same thing, but it was like because I went that route, you know, slightly ahead of you,
Yeah.
then it was like, yeah, then it just was pushing that forward and
Yeah.
maybe in a more than two-player game, there'd be other decisions, block spaces, I don't know. But yeah, it didn't seem like much, unfortunately. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know draw to play this one really again.
No.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I'm kind of, it was one of those things where like you had this big Stonemaier collection of games, and it was like, okay, this is one you're clearly missing from your collection. And now yeah, like you said, I don't think you need to add it to your collection
No.
because we would never play it,
It,
amongst all the other stuff that there
and
is.
honestly, if you wanted to play something remotely similar, but much better, play Apiary,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is another one we played once, and I haven't really had much of a desire to play it again, even though I
Yeah.
liked that one. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
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 that one had, I think, or again, another unique sort of with the bees ticking up. Um, but I think you could between the two, you can see that that one's more modern versus
yeah,
this one kind of fallen off, unfortunately. But I guess that's the way things are when you have so many games being released every year, right?
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
you can't always keep them up. There's plenty of games in both our collections. We started to cull those games that we just know don't make the
yeah.
cut anymore, right? So and this one would be one of the ones that fell under that.
So, do you want to quickly go through the next two games, or
Yeah, we got 3 minutes and 11 seconds, and I think that's enough for both these games.
so?
Both by the same publisher.
Yeah,
So this is Ryan Lockett and Red Raven Games, who I like that's most of Ryan's stuff, most of the Red Raven games. But these are some of the lighter games, Megaland and Isle of Night.
yes,
So Megaland, you are I think basically going on an event. It's a push your luck. You go on a little adventure, push your luck, and then bring back treasure, and then spend that treasure for victory point treasure, and then go back out and do the same thing. And it's just a back and forth where you go to, like I said, go to adventure, and you keep going, taking damage from whatever monsters are flipped, and then you can run back to town to not take any more damage. And if you do that, you cash in whatever you got, and you can buy cards, and those cards will have
yeah,
victory points, right? We played this, we were neck and neck for the start, and then you pushed further than I pushed on one, which you're more skilled at taking those risks. Uh, you often will push your luck. You're right there. You pushed farther on one round, and you didn't bust, and you ended up getting a big kind of payday for that. And then I could not catch up to you after that, right? So we
yeah,
went back and forth. We had a few more rounds. I tried to push it again, taking some more risks to catch up, but I couldn't catch up to you at that point.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So that was the experience of Megaland. I don't know if you want to add
And
anything more to that.
not really. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very luck driven, and I don't know. Yeah, pretty light. Like would maybe be a good family game, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, just to have, silly fun with the kids, and
Yeah, yeah. Push Your Luck is fun for, yeah, a family game kind of
yeah.
thing, right?
And then Isle of Night was, yeah, it was, I don't even really remember the game much, to be honest
You,
with you.
you had objective cards, I think, in the middle, and then we were attaching cards to the side, and if they would cross, you'd get points, and you'd collect cards that got you points, and you try and collect sets, and
Yeah,
another one that was kind of extremely light, and take it or leave it. You got an early lead on points and then kept a lead for the entire time, and then that was it. Yeah. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, taking sets and whatever came up. That's what you get, right? Okay, pick a
yeah,
card. Okay, you could pick a card. Oh, I pick a card, right? And that was it. That's the game. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Of their lighter games, like Rome was really good,
Yeah, we
but
enjoyed that one. Yeah, yeah, for
but
sure.
these
Last year at
ones,
Breakout.
yeah, these ones were pretty meh.
Yeah, yeah. Light
Pretty,
light games might be good family games, but Honestly, these are both these games we borrowed from the library at the end of the night and then just brought up to a room and played in our room kind of thing, as something light before bed kind of thing.
Yep. Yep.
Which probably was a smart way of doing things that first night, because the other nights, not so much. We'll get into that as we get into,
Yep.
kind of the next day now.
So yeah,
Um,
so day two started out well strong for you.
yeah,
We played Tianxia or Tianxia.
yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And on, yeah, yeah. We just reviewed this one too, so we don't have to go deep into it or whatnot. But and I think we mentioned it in that episode that one of the guys we've met numerous times at the con, pretty much every year we've run into him. I still don't remember his name though. Probably pick up his name next year. We'll see.
yeah, yep.
He saw me setting it up, and he was like, "Hey, I like this one. I can teach you how to play it." And I was like, "Sure." Yeah. So he gave us the kind of the rundown, quick rundown of it. Quick rundown. It's got a lot of rules. And then
Yeah.
we jumped in and had a good time and played it wrong. And yeah, I mentioned in the other episode that this was one of the ones that I was thinking about afterwards. And it's a T game, and I find the T games for me have kind of a special place in my heart for these ones, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and it just seemed like, last year, the year before, we played Tiletum, and I was like, oh wow, that was my game of the con. So I right afterwards I bought that game. Right. This one we played. This one was another T game. I don't know if I'd say it was the game of the con, but it was definitely up there for me. Um, and so coming back, I was like, you know what? It just makes sense that I pick up another T game. So I was
Nice.
happy to add this one to the collection. And it's a good game. I
Yeah.
enjoy it. Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's
the when we played it at the con, it didn't really I didn't really vibe with it.
sure. Yeah.
Um like I thought it was all right. Uh and then I mentioned in our episode I had a much better experience the second time we played it. But I think by the end of that game, I kind of realized what the game is about,
Yeah, yeah.
what you need to focus on. Um, but yeah, like I had a fine time at BreakOut Con.
Mhm, mhm.
But yeah, I didn't vibe with it too hard at the convention.
Yeah, and I could tell that too. And honestly, even with like Tiletum the year before, I think it was the year
Yeah,
before.
that's true.
You did not vibe with that one either, right? And but there's just something about those games that I was like, you know what? And I looked them up, and they have a solo play, and I'm like,
Yeah.
done. I'll do that. I will play it solo a few times, and then I'll bring it out on one of our games days, and we'll even if we just played that one time. I'll play it enough solo that I get a good feel for it, right?
Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
Tiletum, I love that game now.
yeah.
Yeah.
We've played that a couple times now outside of the con. So yeah, and I would put that one above this one as well. So to give you an idea, a hierarchy of the T games, I suppose that one's definitely one of my top ones,
Yeah.
that I've played of Daniele Tassini, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, happy to add that one to my collection as well. But I think this next one is
Hmm.
probably the one that was the game of the con for both of us.
It was definitely my game of the con.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And rightly so. And again, this is one that we have another, episode on already.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is Food Chain Magnate.
Hmm.
And I'm just looking this up here. So yeah, I had mentioned in our episode that I think they were a Polish company. And what I was thinking of was Lucky Duck Games. They originally are a Polish company, uh, but this is a Splotter game, and they are actually a Dutch company.
Ah,
So
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just to correct myself there, well, correct myself, but I was thinking of Lucky Duck Games because that's my version. I got the special edition that you can see back here. Maybe it's pretty overexposed, but um,
It's the largest thing on the shelf there. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Dwarfs even the Galactic Cruise box, which
Yeah,
is a
which is
feat.
wild. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But this game, so this is where we met Jeremy,
Yeah.
and having now taught this game myself, I I realize he did a really good job teaching this game.
Probably the only game where we had all the rules correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So like
Um,
props to him being able to like teach it to a bunch of beginners,
yep.
new players to this. And yeah, and for it to vibe with both of us to a degree where we're like, oh, this game is amazing. And we both did really well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
So I have to admit, I did a little bit of research beforehand because I thought for sure that we were gonna, because this was a scheduled play.
Yes.
So I thought that we were gonna get put in a group with a bunch of people who've played this game 100 times and knew exactly what they were doing. That was not the case. It was Jeremy who taught it, and
Yep.
the rest of us had never played it before.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
like I
Played
didn't
with
do a
some
ton of
good
research.
guys too. Like
Oh
we played
yeah,
with Greg, who you had met before at a previous
yeah,
uh,
Protospiel.
Protospiel. Yeah, and then Fayez, who we played again another game with him, like our
Later on.
final game kind of thing at
Yes.
the on the final day of the con. But both of them were good guys, and yeah, we yeah, it was a good introduction to this game for sure.
Yeah.
And Jared,
Yeah.
like, yeah, he was a great teacher. Didn't go in and crush us right away either. Which so this was the second, probably the second time I'd signed up for a game to play at BreakOut Con.
Oh, right.
Um,
Yeah.
a few years back or last year, whatever it was the mech miniature game, which I forget the title of,
Yeah.
but I've never touched it since. And
BattleTech.
I'm BattleTech, and I'm a sucker for miniature starter sets. And it put me so off that I've never touched it. I've never bought the cheap two-player starter set
Right.
for BattleTech because of how that teach went. This one, a night and day difference, right? Like this was Jer was like this was the way to teach people how to play a game and then not make them hate it because you just like rub their nose in it. Yeah. Here's how crappy you're playing, and now I'm gonna rub your face in it, right? That'll teach you to ever
Oh
touch this game
man.
again. Yeah. Yeah.
So no, that was not how he taught it at
Yeah,
all.
exactly.
We
Yeah.
had a really good experience. Yeah. Yeah, go listen to our Food Chain Magnate episode if you're interested. Phenomenal game. I mean, I went out and spent way too much money getting the special edition because I had so much fun playing this game at the con.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
such a unique game. Never played anything like it. So strategic. Just and so many different ways you can play. Just man, it's so good. It's so good.
And honestly, like that experience too, like this is what we were talking about earlier with we got to play with Jer, we got to play with Fayez and Greg and some meeting some of these new people. And then like we met a guy who was playing a different game behind Jer who was already talking to him, Brian.
Brian, yeah,
And then
yeah.
we met Brian's sister, and then like it was just this big group of us that like just we got pulled into different games with different people, and it was like it all started kind of like right away jumping into these different games, right? And that was getting to meet some of their game groups and stuff was pretty fantastic. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Because yeah, Brian was a great guy, and I don't think we played anything. I think was it Deb, his sister's name? I feel like it was
Yeah.
Deb. I don't think we played anything with her.
She
Oh, but
was she
she was
wanted to
going
teach
to.
us
Yeah, speakeasy.
speakeasy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then somebody had nabbed it.
yeah, yeah,
Of course,
yeah. Oh
because it's
yeah, yeah.
speakeasy. So yeah, so that's when we jumped into spoiler Eldritch Horror with
Yes.
Fayez.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
great talking to them too.
Oh, they were
They were
awesome.
great people too. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, so food chain magnate.
Yeah.
Uh, and then yeah, after
So
that,
yeah, we
yeah,
got out of Food Chain Magnate. We probably went and had dinner at this point.
yeah, yeah,
Came back, and then I had told Jeremy that or Jer that I had played Container with Greg, and I had said, yeah, Greg didn't have such a great time with that game, but I really enjoyed it. This was at Protospiel. Jeff Frazier had brought out the new version that All Play
yeah,
was doing, and then had said, "Oh yeah, there's this is a redo of an older German style game." Um, and so we come back, and I guess Jer was like, "Hey, do you want to jump into a game of Container with us?" And I was
yeah,
like, "Yeah, I do." And we actually grabbed Chris McDonald from
yeah.
yeah,
Also
and pulled
great
him into the
dude.
game.
Yeah,
Also a
yeah.
great dude.
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
Brian joined us for this one, and Chris
yeah.
did, and yeah, yeah. So
So
that yeah,
so Container, I'll say,
yeah, yeah.
designed by Franz Benno de Long and Thomas Ewert, with art by Mike Doyle and published by Valley Games Inc. This is a 2007 game with a BGG weight of 3.22 out of 5. So
Nice.
in this
Yep.
game, you're making containers and shipping containers and buying containers. So
Well, that's what you're
uh
supposed to do.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So actually it's such a neat concept.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you can make factories and you can make warehouses. And the factories will produce containers, which are just colored cubes, right? But the factories produce containers. And then if you produce the containers in your factory, somebody else has to buy those containers from you and put them in their warehouse. And then somebody has to buy the containers from their warehouse to put on their ship. And then you take the ship out and bring it to the this island, and then you hold an auction for that ship and all of the containers on the ship. And this whole thing is a closed market economy. So and you can't buy so right. So Thomas, if you make the containers, you can't buy your own containers. That's silly. So then I buy the containers from you, put them in my warehouse, and then I have to price them so that somebody else will come and buy them off me, which could be you, right? You could buy
yeah.
your own containers back. Yeah, but
But then I
man,
bring it to
it's
the island and then auction them off. So,
right.
I might not even
Yeah.
keep them at that point again, right? Yeah.
And so the point of buying them at the island is then they go onto like your section of the island, and you've got a card, a secret card, to say, okay, this color of container is worth this many, well, we'll say points at this point. Each color of container, I think there's 5 colors, and that'll have a different value for every container. So for every different player, the color of container is worth a different amount of points. And then the neat thing is you have to throw away all of the color that you get the most of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you're trying to like bid on these ships, It's got all different colors of containers on it. So you might get the ones you want, you might get a bunch that you don't want. But if you get like all the ones that are the highest value for you, they'll all disappear, and then you're like out of luck, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So fascinating. But all those like points convert to money, and money is like what you score at the end of the game. So if you so when you send your ship up for auction, everybody puts in a secret amount. It's like a silent auction. And then if you accept that, you is this how it if you accept it, you get that much plus that much again from the bank, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the only way money comes into the game. But you also want these containers, so you can turn everybody's offer down, but then you have to pay what the highest offer was to the bank, taking money out of the game. But
And
those
then you can
containers
keep
would
the
then go to
containers.
your part of the island. So it's this push and pull of, okay, I bought these containers from you for $2, so I want to sell them for like a little bit more, but then but then you over there, you're selling the same colors for less, so everyone's going to go to you for and it's just this big push and pull of economy. And we had well, I don't want to speak for you, but I had a freaking blast playing this game.
It was a ball. Like it on and like I was clearly the best player. Now my strategy didn't end up working out. But to give you an idea, like I was really close. So
Sure,
high
sure.
end, Chris ended up winning this with 103 points. But it was like I was right on his tail at 17 points. So like it totally understood. Honestly, so I had so much fun. This was great. Like it was probably it was not my favorite game. I wouldn't say it was my favorite game. I really enjoyed this game. I'd play it again in a heartbeat because it was a ton of fun, and I have to redeem myself. Um, but I had probably like I had one of the most fun out of the games that we played uh, in the 4 days we were there with this one because it was just a great group to play with, and
Such
it
a
was a
good group,
fun
yeah.
game, and we were just like we were all trying to win and do whatever. And I I uh, I had an idea going. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this, and then like I like heavily invested into like production, right? And then realized this isn't gonna work. So then I like switch, and
Well,
I
because
went
you have
like,
to pay to like build these factories and
yeah, yeah.
warehouses.
So I went
That
like
takes
broke.
money out
Yeah.
of your account, like, and out of the game. And you need to have that money to make money.
I was like, I'm going to corner the market. Everyone's going to come to me. And then quickly realized after I like built my engine that like I can only store, X amount of containers. And if
Yeah.
anyone else is producing containers, then, so it's like I'll corner the market, I'll have all this color. So it's like, okay, okay, it's not working. That's fine. I'll corner the market on warehouses.
Warehouses.
So I
Yep.
bought out all the warehouses. So I was like, and then ran into the exact same issue, but on the opposite side of thing is I can't hold all the containers that I would need to hold to actually corner a market, right?
Right.
There I watch people go out. So there's one guy that goes out and he buys Kabutos, I think is a Pokemon. That is it's like a crab Pokemon. He is trying to corner the market on this card. He goes out
One
and he
particular
buys,
card.
yeah, one particular card. He buys every anybody selling it. He's trying to buy all of this card, right? And I think he's
Okay.
doing it as a joke because it's like a common card. So there's like, it's not even like, it's not a hard card to get. So he's just going out buying all. So this is, but this felt like me trying, I was like, I'm going to corner this market. That stuff can work if you can actually corner a market and be the only one that. And I realized, I would say really quickly, not really quickly, uh, on both sides of things, both markets I tried to corner, you couldn't do that. And then by that game, by that time, we were like 2 hours into this game, and there was no way
Oh
I was
man.
ever catching up. I didn't have like a single crate on this island. And I was like,
Oh
I am
boy.
so dead. But then, like,
Yeah.
I kept going. I was like, I'll switch it up. Let's do something else, and I'll try and corner somewhere else that I know is not going to work. But at this point, I've tried two strategies and burnt myself with both. And then it wasn't till like,
Uh,
I like would complete the building phase kind of thing. Yeah, I got everything I need. And
yeah.
then on one turn, I'd be like, I'm doing a, oh no, I could still only have four. This strategy doesn't work. It's okay. And I'll switch into this. And then did the exact same. Had one turn where I went,
Uh,
oh no, I miscalculated.
were
And then
you the
people
one
were,
that was just like taking out loans like crazy
oh yeah,
too? And you're
yeah. Took
like,
a ton of
it'll work
loans to
out.
do
It'll
this.
work
Yeah.
out.
Well, I'm fine. I'm fine. I got this guy. It's just the next turn is my turn. And then it was no, no, no. Like the next one is mine. I said it the entire game. And then score. I mean, I scored points, so I made it on the scoreboard.
You did score a few points. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
I actually
yeah.
came in second at 95 points.
Yeah, this was a really
Yeah.
like close game amongst you guys, right? Like Chris had 103, you had
Yeah.
95, Brian had 82, Jared had 78, and I was close too.
But yeah, what a fantastic group of guys. And
Oh yeah,
Chris was just masterful at this somehow.
killing it. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I loved how like both Brian and Chris were like every once in a while they'd come to me and like give me like a big like payday, and I'd be like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And then I'd
I
immediately waste the money somewhere else.
it
Yeah.
just seemed to me like every time we'd have an auction, we'd go around like, okay, here's my offer. It'd get to Chris and he'd be like double what what our offers were. And I'm like, where did you get all this money from?
Yeah,
Like, how do you
exploiting me.
have this much money? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, yeah. That was such a fun game.
yeah. It
And
was a fun
then
game.
so we played Food Chain Magnet with Jer. Then he brought us in the container, and then he's like, "Hey, you guys want to play Sweetlands? It's 11 o'clock at night."
Yeah, yeah.
We're like, absolutely, we do.
Oh, I know, but he also said, "I know this game like perfectly, so
Right.
we could get into it right away." Jerk. We got there. It's like, I don't remember this one as well as I thought I did. So like, no problem. It's fine, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And people are looking. Oh, you guys are setting that up now? hmm hmm Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like when we started playing Brass Birmingham for the first
Oh,
time
that
and
was
we're
yeah.
learning it by reading the rule book at 11:30 at night.
Clearly never learn. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Sweetlands is actually, one of the new hotnesses
hmm
published in 2025 by Tatsuko Chuo Chuo with artist Tatsuki Asano and published by Uchi Bakoya.
Glad you're doing
Um,
that.
uh, the 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 art is really cool.
Yeah, very pretty.
And they're doing another game, Rosalie or something that's on like Kickstarter right now, which also looks pretty cool. But this game was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it, but I will say this one was like a SETI for me.
Yeah.
Now I enjoyed playing it with you guys and I had fun, but because we went late, at some point my brain just turned to mush.
Yeah.
And like we hit 2 o'clock and like I was on one turn and I was looking at the cards and I was like honestly like trying to do like simple math. Like it was like
Right?
5 plus 3, and I kept doing like this, trying to like count it with like my nods, and I couldn't do it. And eventually it was just like I do this. And then it was like gone. Yeah. So I did really poorly on this one. And again, I don't think, similar to SETI, I don't think it's a fault of the game. And I'd like to give this one another try.
Yeah.
But when we saw Jared playing it the next day, I was like, I'm staying away. No. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. It's a pretty heavy Euro game. Let's see what the rating is here.
I gotta
Yeah,
imagine it's,
4.16 out of
yeah,
5. And
4.17.
that's I think that's deserved.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. And Civolution was 4.25, was it? Was that right?
I
Is that
have
what we said
closed
earlier?
that
Yeah.
page.
Yeah,
Hold
of
on.
course. Yeah. Because I was gonna like this one seemed more complex. There's a
Yeah,
lot.
4.25.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was a lot going on in this one.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, now when I think back on it though, definitely one of those ones that I'd love to try this one again because it had a lot of cool stuff. Like a
Hmm.
lot of different paths two kind of victory points, right? Like there was one where like, and everything is like it's Sweetlands, right? So everything is like sugar related, right? You have like buildings that are milk cartons and chocolate bunnies you can place down and stuff like that, right?
Yep. Yep.
And your fences or your bridges are probably sweets as well. They kind of look like macaroni though, and I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah.
look at this. Trying to find some images here. Yeah, you've got like gingerbread houses, and then like one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
buildings is like
Like a
a
little,
bag of coffee, and
yeah, yeah. So
uh,
that was really cool. So but like this you had so there's one track that you had like a train go around, and if you could like unblock it, then it could go back the other way or you can unlock something else to go around. So that was one
yeah,
way to gain points. There was like the chocolate bunnies was another way that you can get points. There was just, placing buildings was another way. Tucking cards was there was so many ways to score points.
mhm.
Um, And I think that's what it was just too much for my tired brain at that point where I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
But which is funny because like Civolution, when we played it, maybe because we played it a second time late at night, I didn't have that, experience playing it late at night. But again, this one being our first play of it, it definitely felt like super complex, and I just did poorly. Um, and I knew it like playing. I was like, what am I doing? Because when I was looking at like Jared, it was like, I do this and I can do this. And I was like,
right.
what am I doing? Because I can do this and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's
that
how I
was,
always feel playing a game with you.
yeah. So,
But
but I did like it. Like it was,
yeah,
yeah, it was
you
fun.
you get like you get like 7 to 10 cards at the beginning of
Hmm.
the round. Uh, but you have to pay for those cards. And one of the ways to pay for the cards is to get rid of your other cards. I'd say that's the main way to pay for your cards
Yeah.
because I can't remember how you pay. There's some kind of currency. You get like a little bit of it, depending on, your board state. But you get this mitt full of cards and you have to like discard most of them. And it's a this like you gotta pick and choose what ones you're gonna play, and then yeah, I think it's mostly for points, right? But you also get
Yeah.
some special abilities out of them and
Yeah.
whatever.
And you can combo these cards too, right? Yeah. So like some of them trigger different abilities when you take different actions, and then other ones are just like you do something you'll get and they just one time give you something or whatever, right? So yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of different types of things that these cards do. And I definitely remember seeing combo plays amongst the cards, but then I have no idea what happened with those cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if I just ate them or it's like when I was looking at the board afterwards, after we were finished, I was like, what is this mess? Like, I don't know what I did here.
Yeah,
None of
you've
this is
got
cohesive. Yeah.
there's a big main board in the middle, and then you've got like two player boards, like one with your character, like when it's all asymmetric
Yeah.
player powers, and it's got all your like buildings and stuff on it, and your tracks for your income and stuff. And then you've got another whole board with like a map on it that's very much like what was the game, like Terra Mystica and Age of Innovation, whatever. I think it was Jeremy kept comparing it to
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
games, where you're taking your buildings off and then you're building them over here on this map, and you're building out this map, and you have to like hit the four corners of it by the end of the game, and you're racing to certain areas on the map. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
And
lot going on.
yeah, and I think I started this one off too with my brain didn't wrap around a few of the like things, and like so like I made some decisions going, oh, this is how this works, and then
Yeah,
quickly realized no,
no.
that's a and then I was like, oh, I chose all the wrong stuff. That's cool, but it's fine, right?
Yeah.
So then the like even like to like some of the upgrades, I was like, oh, that's not how this upgrade works. That's okay,
Cool.
I
Cool,
guess.
cool, 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 cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah. So
Yeah.
it just felt like a very uphill, and that is just strictly from not being a bad teach, but me having a tired brain
Oh
going, oh,
yeah, for
my
sure.
brain said this when you totally said something different, right? So yeah, but I would totally play this one again in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it'd be a fun one to learn more about, and just learn how to how to strategize because I'm this is one of those ones that again would like benefit from multiple plays as well. We'd score much better and whatever, and
100%.
I don't think you get bored of it because there's always something new to do. Feel like those cards, there's a lot of different cards and different things that you could focus on.
Yep, for
Like
sure.
this one, yeah, yeah.
So
What's the
that
next? Yeah.
yeah, so that was the end of day 2. And day
Hmm.
3 we
It's like a
started off
3 a.m. going to bed, that one.
yeah, yeah. So the next one we wanted to do something a little lighter.
Yes.
From the play to win table, we grabbed Three Ring Circus.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this one was meh, it was
It's
okay.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. It's had some neat sort of like thematics to it. You're building this circus troupe, and you're placing cards into your tableau that are circus performers. And depending on how you place them, they might score points or resources or whatever for you. And then you go and you do shows and you'll, get stuff and get new cards and whatever, right? And then whoever scores the most victory points at the end wins. And it was
Yeah.
very it's one of those ones. Maybe is it only a two-player? This one? No, 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 no.
No.
Yeah. So that's right. The board will shrink depending on player count, right? But it's one of those ones that like at two players, I ended up getting a lead on one of the shows that I just happened to have been dealt with my starting hand a card that synergized, and then there was one in the market that I was able to get, and then immediately met the conditions for this one show to like maximize that show.
Right.
So I got this early sort of lead, and then I was just like, okay, now I'm just going to run up the clock, and then pretty much did that. We did a few shows and ran the clock out, and it was like, yeah, and that early lead coasted me for the game, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
I thought you were gonna like fill up your board, and you really didn't. Like
yeah,
the game
yeah.
was over like way quicker than I expected it to
That's
be.
exactly it, right? Because by the time I hit a big show, a second show I hit big too. I hit two of the main shows big, and then I was
Mm.
just like, yeah, why not just rush the end? Because now I have
Yeah.
a point lead. So it was just like, how do I finish while I'm still ahead before you can take and when you take these big shows, like if you're the first to do it, you score the most amount of points. Someone else can do a show there, but they won't score as many points as you did, right? So yeah, that's it was yeah, fun. Like I didn't hate it. But again, I was like, yeah, if we win this, I'm probably gonna put it in the bring and buy auction and sell it or give it to you, be like, you want it? Yeah, yeah, because whatever, right? So, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was yeah, yeah, it was a game.
Yeah, and that one is designed by Remo Conzadori and Fabio Lapiano, and published by DeVere. It's a 2023 game. So,
Fair enough. Yeah,
yeah, it was fine.
yeah,
I could see if you like lighter games, this one uh might be a fun lighter card game, but yeah,
yeah.
not
If you're into the
not
circus stuff,
not our
yeah,
cup of tea.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So then the next one we played was a bit of a classic
yeah.
that neither one of us has played before, and that is Tigris and Euphrates, designed by Reiner Knizia, with art. There's many different versions of this, so many different artists, including Ian O'Toole.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, did one of the versions. If I had to guess here, I'd say the 25th anniversary. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah, that makes
but I
sense.
don't know that. I'm just that's a guess. So, but yeah, lots of different publishers too. Hansim Gulak and 25th Century Games and 999 Games, Devere at one point, Fantasy Flight at one point. Wow. Pegasus Spiel, Mayfair,
Yeah.
Matago, Z-Man.
It's a,
Wow.
it's a classic, right? It's a classic game, and Knizia game, like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But those two
Uh,
things together, yeah.
yep. I
I could
think
see a publisher picking this up every once in a while, whatever, right?
yeah.
Right?
It looks like it was first published in 1997 and
Wow.
has a weight of 3.48.
That's insanity.
I'm starting to not trust these weights at
No, not at
all.
all. I mean, I feel like the condition for weights has moved. Almost like the whole, if you look at education from like a perspective of like, grades when we went to school and when we were in grade 8, what we learned versus what our kids would learn in like grade 8 or something, right? You know, the bar has moved, right?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
feel like games too, from like, 90s to now, the game like that coming out in 97, whoa, right?
yeah.
And then now it's like, have you played Sweetlands? Because, you know,
Right.
do you want your brain to explode? You know. So I don't know if it's just a,
Could be it.
it could be a
The weight the
condition of
weight
that.
ratings were voted on way back when.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 In the long, long ago, the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the before time, the long, long ago. This one, well, Reiner Knizia, right? So it's kind of abstract, very
Very much so. Yeah.
mathematical.
Yep.
You
Typical Rider
have
Knizia game. Yeah.
Yeah, you have different colored tiles and you are placing them out on a board, and depending on how you place them out, if you can get a group of four tiles together, you're going to build a monument there. And basically you have leaders, you have leader tiles that for every color, and you're going to put out a leader tile and build tiles around it, and thematically you're like building out a city basically, and then other people can also put leaders in there, but then whoever has the leader for a particular color is going to score the points for that color. and then you can like battle with each other to try and knock each other's leaders out so that now your leader is getting points for that color. And then at the end of the game, you're adding up all your colors and like whatever one you have like the least amount, the fewest points in, that's gonna be your score. So you want to be getting points evenly throughout the distribution of colors, right? I have played one of the successors to this game, Yellow and Yangtze, on mobile. There was a time when I was playing that quite a bit. So I was like somewhat familiar with this system, let's say, but it's very different, honestly.
Mhm.
Um, Yellow and Yangtze is a hex-based game, as this one's like square tile-based game. Not that that's a huge difference, but then in Yellow and Yangtze you only need a group of three to make the monument, whereas this one it's four. But you have the
Sure.
same number
Yeah.
of actions. You have two actions per turn, right? So it's harder to build the monuments in this game. And then in Yellow and Yangtze, all the different colors have like different abilities. Whereas in this game, it was really only the red and the maybe the black, I think, that
Yeah.
had any, or maybe it was just the red that like had special abilities.
Black did to a degree because you would score points on the colored tiles you were playing if that color leader wasn't connected to the, city that you were attaching it to, right?
Right, right, right,
So
right, right,
that
right.
black was basically like a catch-all until that color leader was there, and then they'd start collecting the points, right?
Yeah.
Um, but red was often used for almost like the religious wars because your reds were
Mhm.
your temples, right? Or your temple color or whatever it was called. Those the tiles were called something or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Would you think of this one?
So I I am not very good at these games, but I find them extremely interesting.
Mm.
Um, are they extremely good games? And when I say games, I mean Tigris and Euphrates and Yellow and Yangtze, because in my head they kind of jumble together, right? Um, I think it's a good game. I think by today's standards, it's just dated, but but what a tactical game. Like the tactics are very high up there. And if you like tactical, methodical play styles, like it's a very cool game.
Yeah,
Um,
we played with a third guy. Alex joined us. So again, we just
yeah.
we just met. He was walking by while we were setting up and he was like, "Can I jump in?" And
Mhm.
at first I was like, I think this is only a two-player game. And then you were like, no, I don't think so. And I looked at the book and I was like, oh, no, no, yeah, please sit down and like join us. I'm not just
Yeah.
saying no to you. I just honestly thought it was just a two-player game. Um, and so he joined us too. And yeah, my thoughts on this was kind of I can I agree. It's a good game. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Had a good time. I think it's well put together, and it's obviously I'm I'm on my uh personal, I guess, what I like about games. I tend to not like abstract games.
Mhm.
Just they just don't they're just not my style. And to as much as it pains me to say, Reiner Knizia, brilliant mind. I'm not drawn to his games a lot of times. His games just don't. They're great, and I can appreciate them. And I think he's a genius of game design, and probably the most prolific and you know, will go down as the, best board game designer of all time kind of thing, right? I don't doubt that. I just have never felt any of his games really spoke to me where I'm like, oh, this is my favorite game ever, right? And this was another one, right? So the combination of, being an abstract game and being this kind of mathy puzzle, I was just like, cool. I'm glad I played it once, and I really don't care to play it again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like I would, but I'm just kind of like, eh. Just strictly for the nature of it being kind of an abstract game where I was like, yeah, if we're gonna play sort of this tactical, maybe area control type game, there's a lot more thematic stuff in that sense that maybe is not as well put together from a balance, and because I'm sure all those games are mathematically like perfectly balanced kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So maybe not so much that, but I get more enjoyment from the thematic of it. So maybe having said that, like I had a great time with this one, and I was really surprised at the scores by the end of it
Oh, you
because,
crushed us.
well, not really. Like when you did the
Oh, I guess
right?
yes,
Like yeah,
six
when
to seven.
because it's the least amount, right? Like yeah, I had quite a few cubes in, a couple of the colors. But like my least collected color, I had seven of, and you had six, right? So it was a 1 point difference,
Yeah,
really, when
yeah,
it came down to it. We kind of crushed Alex, unfortunately. I'm sure he didn't
yeah.
have, he only had two when it came down to it. But
But yeah,
yeah,
like
no,
I built these high point scoring cities,
mhm,
basically,
mhm.
where I was just like, I was killing it. I was doing quite well. I feel like, right? Like
Yeah,
I
you were,
set
yeah,
things up well.
yeah,
And then you were like, okay, I'll take that.
yeah.
And I'll take that.
You've
And I'll
done a
take
really
that.
good job over there.
Yeah.
I want it. Thank you.
And
Right?
then and then I'm like, okay, Alex, we got to take these back from Thomas, and we just couldn't do it. Like you
Yeah.
just outmaneuvered us.
You built everything that I won with. Yeah. So like I
Yeah.
took your work and then just milked your engine and
Yeah.
then won the game that way, right? Yeah, and it just, there's a bit of a luck based in this. You have a handful of tiles that you're placing on the board, but whenever you get into these sort of battles, you add the power of your leader and how many of that, say color is around your leader. Plus, you can bid that same color, or typically, depending on the type of battle, it was either going to be red or it was going to be a specific color, right? Um,
Yeah, so the internal you can there's like battles that are internal in one city, and those are
yeah,
with the red ones, and they're considered like religious battles or something like
yeah,
that. And that's if you have a green leader in a city, and then I throw down a green leader. Well, there can't be two of the same color leaders in a city. Then there's a revolt inside, like within the city. But the other way to do it is if two cities connect, then it's a different kind of battle.
yeah, yeah. Um, so we had a couple pretty massive game like game changing battles, and you'd go in pretty tough, and I happen to have just the right amount of number of the
Yeah.
right color to block your attack and win that war or whatever, right? And it
Right.
happened like I think
Oh,
3 times or so where it was like
yeah.
you came in with a massive attack, and then I, fended it off because I had one more token than you did. And then
And
we
I,
redraw tiles back out, right?
yep.
And then Alex attacked me and was like, boom. And it was kind of funny because it was like you attacked and it was like this massive defense. And then Alex came in from like a side attack, kind of trying to flank me on this thing, and was like, whoa, with a massive attack. And you were like, oh yeah. And both of you were like, take that. And I was like, well, actually, boom, defense, right? And I beat him back. Right. And it
Yep.
was like, oh, and then it kind of like ruined his situation there or whatever, right? So and then
Yep.
and it was like back to back fights like that, and then I think we had like one more fight after that, and I ended up winning that as well. And it's just I just happened to have the right colored tokens each time, and it was just like that one was pretty much luck of the draw at that point because like you
Right,
attacked
right.
me, I had enough reds to defend, and then when you defend, you use up like we used up all our tokens. So I drew all new tokens, and then Alex attacked me with the blue, and that's what I ended up drawing all of. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Blue, here it is, right?
Right.
So
And if he had attacked you with a different color, it would have been a
yeah,
totally different
yeah.
outcome.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
happened to be I drew all blue on that, specific draw
Yeah.
to defend against him, right? So yeah, I enjoyed it and it was funny and I felt like, ha ha, look at my armies. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I played it once. I'm happy to play it. Happy to have played it because it's such a classic.
I
Yeah.
actually played quite a bit of Yellow and Yangtze after
Mhm.
Breakout Con because of this play.
No way. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I was never very good at that game, but I kind of got better at it because of this game, and I
Hmm.
sort of saw how things worked a little bit better. That being said, played the game in like a handful of times and went, yeah, this is cool, and then haven't really played it
Yeah.
again. Then and I'm like, yeah, I was like, yeah. So
What I found interesting was that like you didn't have to necessarily build your own stuff, right?
yeah,
I just saw you building nicely and went, I want that, and and then took it, right? And like twice, right? So it was like, so that was an interesting thing that you could just
yeah.
be like totally be like, yeah, I'm not building my own engine. I'm letting others build an engine, and then I'll just take over their engine, right? And they're like, yeah, this works
Uh,
really well. Thank you for making this for me, right? So, which was kind
nice.
of funny too. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's
That's
Tigris
that
and
one.
Euphrates. Yeah.
So then later that night, we ran into Jer again,
Hmm.
and he said, "I've got this like new game, just came in off like a Kickstarter or something.
Yeah, yeah. This was yeah.
Had
His
had
buddy Paul. It was his copy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right, okay,
No.
okay, yeah, yeah. So I had never heard of this game
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
And apparently it was quite a bit of hotness around it. This was Campania, from 2025, designed by Yog Akasi or Akasi, and who also did the art, and published by Asobition. I am probably butchering that. But anyway, yeah, this is a 1 to 6 player game with a weight of 2.77. And this one was a bit of a surprise hit.
He invited us to play this game, and I was kind of like, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
play. Well, you want to play companion? I was like, I don't even know. Is that a word you're saying? Because I had no idea. What is it? Yeah, companion. We're gonna play companion. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but okay, we'll sit down and we'll play this one, I guess.
Right.
And I'm really glad we did, because
Yeah,
I
you
love
took
this
to it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you are you essentially are playing like a company, like a conglomerate that you get a little bit of a logo and you get a special power, and then you are building your company's engine and bidding on spots on the board, and then if you're the highest bidder, you get to take that action, but everybody else can stay there for the next bid then, and then they may win those actions. And it's got a really neat mechanic where so you start off with, I think, something like 5 dice, and you bid on these spots through the pips on the dice, but you're only allowed to put like a maximum number of pips on these dice.
Yeah.
And I
You
can't
don't
remember what that.
roll them.
Yeah, you don't roll
You
them. You go like,
select.
yeah. So
Yeah.
those dice, out of those, 3 dice that you start with or whatever, they can only add up to six. So you're like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to put a three and a two and then a one. And then these are my bids on the various things. And you can put them on the same or you can put them on different or whatever, right? And then whoever has the highest gets to take the action. And then you can kind of, some of the actions will unlock more pips that you can use on those dice, or more dice, or various resources that you can spend elsewhere and whatnot. And you get cards, and those cards cost resources to play, and they will run your engine and earn you cash. And the end of the game, it's whoever is able to make the most money with their business, basically, right?
Right.
And it's played over, I think there's like 9 turns or something like that. So you have a grid of like, I think you start with 6 spaces you can bid on, and then every turn unlocks a new space
Right.
for those 9 turns. And then by the end of it, like you got like this giant area that everyone's bidding on different stuff. But you kind of, there becomes a point where you're like, okay, I know this is a very popular square because this action is really powerful. But then this one, now that we got so many on the board, is probably going to be ignored. So I can get really cheap stuff on that, you know, spot there. Maybe I'll only put a one there and I'll still win it, kind of thing, right? And then
Right.
and then depending on your business, like mine, I got points if I ever had 3 in a row. So if I noticed like 3 spots in a row that weren't popular, I would do that just to get bonuses. And then you get paid out, certain parts of the cards that I had been playing were like, for each of the ones that you're on, it'll score you much. So it was like all this like comboing of playing stuff out and bidding on spots and earning money and playing cards and running them and earning cash from them. And I absolutely love this game. And to the point where this was the one of the ones that I was like, right after, I had to buy this game. I'm buying this game. Came out and it's sold out everywhere. And I,
Yep.
and I, and I'm pretty sure it's like in like almost like a pre-order stage. Like only the Kickstarter stuff has went out, and maybe there was a bit of retail, but right now it's not available. So I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
waiting for it to hit retail, but I will
Or
own
another
this one.
reprint. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, at
Yeah.
some point.
You took to this like a fish takes to water. And it, we, so the end of the
Thankfully.
game,
Yeah.
at the end of the game, we start adding up the scores. And Jer turns to you and goes, I have never seen anyone score that high before.
It felt really good. And not only because I did really well and I really vibed with this game, but also because this was the what, like the fourth game we played with Jer.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was like, I like when this guy plays because he's an idiot and I'm totally going to beat him. Because every other game I did so poorly, like 17 in
Right. In container.
in container, right? So we're probably like, oh, this moron, yeah, I'll bump my score up on the back of his stuff, right? So for me to crush this game and be like, yeah, see, this is what I can actually bring to the table, that felt good. Yeah, yeah,
So I scored 178 points.
yeah, yeah,
I was last place. Then Paul was 284 and Jer was just ahead of him at 287.
yeah, yeah,
You scored 413 points.
yeah. It was pretty fantastic. Yeah,
Quite
yeah.
a blowout.
I had some really strong cards in my opening hand, but they were very expensive. So I spent like almost the entire game getting these cards out. And then when I eventually did in the last like 2, 3 turns, they like it went off. Like they were just like
Yeah.
blah, 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 with the points. And that's what it was, right? So it was one of those things where almost like some games you can get an early lead and then just push that lead. And as long as that you grow that lead throughout the game, the player that scores end game points, they have to catch you in order to win, kind of thing, right? And I felt like I was playing that opposite because typically I'll play that where I try and run my points up early, and then in the end game
Yes.
it slows down and you catch up, and if I've maintained enough, that's how I win, kind of thing, right? But this one I took the opposite approach where I was like, okay, this I'm scoring everything at the end, so let's hope it works. And it worked out. So it was like, yes, I
Yeah, I
feel
think
smart.
in this game I'm like I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
Uh but I've got these cards. I know I want to get these cards out. They cost these resources. Let's start building up these resources. So I was going on the board trying to win these resources. Again, you have to bid on these actions, and okay, if I win this action, I get a certain number of the green resource, or the yellow, or the pink. You instead were like, you're using these dice and pips to win these actions. If I have more dice and more pips, I'm going to win more actions,
yeah,
which,
yeah.
yeah, dummy, Jordan. Uh, so you start building up. So I'm trying to get these resources to play these cards, and I'm quickly falling behind. I can't win anything. So and I started to more focus on those actions. But of course, those actions are limited, and if
Yeah.
everybody's trying to go for that, like you're not going to get them. But
Which
um,
which was really interesting, right? Because like, yeah, so I was heavily focused on the pip one because you also had this like secret objective that if you scored the highest on that objective, you got extra points. But if anybody scored higher than you, they also scored extra
yeah,
points, kind of thing, right? Um, so my one objective was to have like the most pips. So I was like right away, okay, I got to get this pip up. And then that allowed me to bid higher, right? So I was like, I did some like bids that were like massive, yeah, just in here, just everything in there till those pips grew up. And then it was then I just was like, okay, unlock some more dice. And then it was, I don't care where I win, I can just spread out across the board
yeah,
and get these kind of like combinations of being everywhere on the board, right? And that was yeah, that was it was such an interesting way. But that led to me being because I was getting more pips, if somebody else went there, then I was like, yeah, but I have more pips now, so I can go back there and try again and maybe get ahead of them, even though they already have a dice or two on that spot, right? So
right.
yeah, this is a fascinating game. I really like this one. I'd like to pick this one up for sure. I will at one point when I see it get back to retail, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This
yeah.
is another one where I was kind of lukewarm, I think, on it at the time,
Mhm, mhm.
and then after the game and looking back on it, maybe I'm romanticizing it a little bit in my memory, but I kept thinking about it and going, yeah, you know what? It's a pretty cool game. Like,
Yeah,
I don't really know any other game quite like it. And the artwork is so charming.
it is.
And yeah,
It's
it's a
almost like
game
an
that,
anime kind of style artwork.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But very like pastel and
Yes.
very, it reminds me of like a little bit of like Final Fantasy with the sky ships and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Um, I think you definitely want a group to play
Mhm.
this. I don't know that like at two players it's gonna play great, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'd really like to play this one again.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely want to play this one again. It I really this area of games, like the like 2.5, 2.6, 2.75, like those kind of area of games is like I find those games I really can excel at some of those games, but also like it's just complex enough that I get a good, I feel like I've done something, like I've accomplished something, right? It's not too light that I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I've accomplished something, but then it's also not heavy enough where like some of these like really heavier games, you get really absorbed with into it, and it goes 4 hours, and then and as much as it's a bad way of looking at things, but then you lose a game like that where you're like invested like 4 hours in and you're like really, it hurts, right? It's like, oh man,
Right.
oh, I feel terrible about that win, right? Not that winning is everything, but like you've put so much mental energy into, your success. Whereas like at 2.5, 2.75, you lose one of those and it's like, oh, I tried hard, but whatever, right? It wasn't like all my mental energy was in this, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So even something like, getting crushed in like an Arc Nova or something, that hurts, right? Because it's like, oh man, I was so focused and I did so poorly, you
Right.
know? Um, but yeah, a game like this, yeah, I feel like it's these are the ones that are okay to go either way, and you're like, oh, whatever. It's just fun to play these, right?
Yeah.
Not to say that losing big games is never fun because it's still fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this one I had a ball with this one. Really liked it, and it helps when you when something vibes with you that you're like, oh yes, I get this, and I know what I'm doing every action kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, well. And I
So
think
then,
I think this is the one where I was kind of like between this, uh, TNA,
Tianxia.
thank you, and Food Chain Magnet. These are my Magnate. These are my top three. Even though Civolution I really
Yeah.
enjoyed, those would be my top three for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought you'd put Civolution a little higher.
Hmm. It's a
But
close, like it'd be a close, like third, fourth, that one too, because that one was
yeah.
really good.
No, it
So,
was really good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, speaking of larger games, the next well, we played Civolution again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Again,
played
starting at 11 and then going way too late into
right,
the night.
right.
And yeah,
So then Sunday comes around and
everyone's tired.
Jer was supposed to teach us Galactic Cruise, but
Yes.
he said to me, as long as we could play it first thing in the morning. And then I was like, sounds great. But then we played Civolution till like 3 in the morning. And I was like, I'm sleeping in.
Yeah.
like forget this.
And not only did we sleep in, but then the fire alarm went off in
Oh
the
my
building at like
God.
3 a.m. and was on for
Yeah.
like an hour. And it was like,
I had blocked that from
oh,
my memory.
yo, that was so like the entire convention was like people had like bags under their eyes,
Yeah.
coffees, and like, yeah, we were all in the same boat going
Uh,
brutal,
yep.
brutal, which
Yep.
was the second time that the fire alarm went off because it had gone off in the bring and buy auction,
Yeah.
to which everyone was like, I'm getting a deal on games. I ain't leaving. You kidding? Yeah.
Yep.
So, oh yeah, yeah. So that
So
was
we
that was rough.
we got up late after, yeah, no sleep. And then Fayaz was like, "Hey, do you want to play Eldritch Horror?" I guess it's his like favorite game.
Yeah, I love this game. It's my favorite game ever. I brought it
Yep.
all, brought all the expansions. I was like, dude,
Uh,
yeah, okay, let's play this. Yeah.
I don't think we didn't finish, right? Or we kind of sort of we were
The
gonna
writing was on
lose,
the
and
wall.
yeah,
Yeah. And we were kind of
yeah,
like, and I was struggling. And I felt bad because I knew how much you liked this game, but I was like, I had a terrible headache going in.
right.
I was like my eyes were like glossing, or I felt like garbage.
That just reminded me. I
Oh,
brought Advil to the convention, and I
yeah.
think I was the most popular guy because
No,
of it. I was
100%.
just like giving
Yeah.
it out like candy to people. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you
Someone
have
almost
Advil? Can I
stole
have?"
it from you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. 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 It was a lifesaver. Yeah. But yeah, so it was that. And then I got hungry. And then it was a comment when I get like a
Oh,
headache
yeah,
and
yeah.
hunger pains at the same time. I'm like, I'm gonna vomit all over the table here. Like this is gonna be bad. And then eventually we broke for lunch, and we're like, okay, let's go with the lunch, and we'll come back and we'll play some more.
Yeah. This game
And
took all
thankfully we did.
day.
Oh, it took all day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thankfully we took that because like I got some food into me, and then I hit the bathroom, and
Yeah.
then I was good to go to finish the game. But oh my, like it was like that was a rough day. That was, and I felt bad because I know it was his favorite game, and I wanted to give it a try, but
Yeah.
also like I hated the game. So spoiler.
Yeah.
And again, here's the issue. And we'll go quick because we're running out of time. It's dated. This is an old game.
Yeah.
And when you feel that a game is old, I find that's a problem, right? Like I can play an old game and be like, "Oh, this is great, great," but then when I'm
Yeah.
feeling this feels like an old game, that tells me that there's something wrong, right? And this one definitely felt like an older
Yeah.
game, kind of older mechanics that I was like, okay, this is fun. But then it also felt like we were just eating dirt the entire
Oh
time.
my gosh,
We
yeah.
could not
So
get
hard to
ahead.
so
Yeah.
hard to manage everything.
Oh, yeah. We were doing
Yeah.
good. And then like a few bad things, rolls happened or something. And it was like, oh, now we're doing terrible. And then it
Yeah.
was just like we were just trying to, you know, tread water and could not do it.
And there's one mission where y like the mission would happen somewhere that was very hard to get to.
Yeah.
We struggled to get there. And then you have to complete the mission and and then you have to have the right skills or something. And then it comes down to you flip a card, and if it's not the right card, too bad. And the mission moves somewhere else that's incredibly hard to get it. And you have to do the whole thing over again. So
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
like chasing this mission, and just every time we flipped the card, oh, not the right card.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Three
Like,
times on this mission, and we failed three different times.
yeah,
And to a point where like even like my character finally died in a situation where I was like, yeah, I went in and I'm like, yeah, but I get to roll like six dice for this thing, and I
right.
only have to roll like two fives. Nope. Like, oh, cool, 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 cool.
Yeah.
So I die.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, well, even the things like we'd flip the card and it was like, okay, do this, do this check, and we'd fail the check, and then we'd be like, we needed to pass that one, and we would have got the thing we needed. So now that's buried, and now we got to wait for that a card with that success piece to come up again. So we're trying to like
right.
farm for those cards. And then every time that card comes up, we'd fail it and then have to try and farm for that card again. And we're like, oh my goodness, what are
Yeah.
we doing? Yeah. And then that was the entire day. Yeah. Now Sunday's the short day.
Yeah.
But I had hoped we were gonna get, I was a little nervous about the Galactic Cruise because I knew it was going to be a long game. And I had hoped we'd get into a few short games.
Right.
No.
No. One game
One
the
long
whole
one. And
day.
then finally we were like, yeah, we kind of want to beat traffic on the way home. And we're gonna lose anyways. So what do we call this?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna go another hour and we're gonna lose. There's no way we
Yeah.
can win at this point. So we called it, and that was that. Yeah.
Bit of a disappointing end,
Yeah.
but to a great weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Breakout Con's always so much fun. And this year we met so many great people, and hopefully next year we go back and run into them again. And
Yeah. See everyone again. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard some people refer to conventions as like, summer camp. That you go there, you see all your friends at summer camp, and then see you next year kind of thing, right? So, and
Yeah.
it definitely felt very much that way this year. So if we go back, it's, next year, when we go back next year, be exciting to see these same people and be like, hey, how's the year been? And let's play some games and and have fun and lose horribly and win fantastically and do all that fun stuff, right? So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
really like
Well
this
said.
convention, and I'm excited to continue going to it and enjoying it as much as we, enjoy it.
And that wraps up another episode of the Current Plays podcast. Check us out next week on YouTube or your favorite podcast provider. But until then, good gaming and good night.
Good night, folks.